Hi, this is Ronnie Isaiah, back with Kaballah of Google, Part 1E, posted here at hubpages.com, Kaballah of Google. Kaballah is used with all of its force to combat the evil powers unleashed online. If a Kabbalist wants to utilize the holy flow to build up a website, that website must possess in it an essential side of good that is presented with kindness and brotherly love. Almost all of what is accomplished with the forces of Kaballah are accomplished with love and fear of God. The effects are mind-blowing, yet we don't hear about it in the news. Kaballah is played on the download because miracles of God cannot be used for just anything. The power is so great that those who the revelation of the miracle is bestowed might expire, returning to their source above. We have only heard about the famous legends of master Kabbalists saving Jewish communities and the entire Jewish nation. One famous miracle, for example, is the focus of the Purim festival and well documented in the book of Esther. Esther, it is written in the oral tradition, has a connection with the word Hester, which in Hebrew means hidden or concealed. Esther, the queen of Persia's 127 countries, was a Jewess and student of the Rebbe of that time, Mordechai, the leader of that generation. As a master of Kabbalah, together they were able to foresee the oncoming dark forces influencing King Achashverosh to kill the Jews. Haman is the name to be blotted out forever by Jews as a mitzvah, commandment from the Torah, the flow from above which is godliness concealed, and the power to reveal itself, which is the actual miracle, were focused on the king to believe Esther over his highest minister, the evil Haman. This Kabbalah power to overcome the situation was attained through those mastering its flow, namely Mordechai and Esther. The force of the flow was magnified by the thousands of pure Torah students that Mordechai had in his yeshiva. When Haman convinced the king to persecute Mordechai, he received permission to jail and torture the entire yeshiva. Mordechai told his students to run for the hills, but they refused. Every one of them stayed and continued their studies with increasing dedication and bittul, the selflessness. The Torah study worked like rocket fuel for Mordechai as he aimed his flow to all of the Jewish peoples living and giving them all, each and every one of us, the strength and determination to fast completely for an entire 3 days. In the end, Mordechai was given restitution along with the entire Jewish people, and Haman and all of his family were hung from the tallest gallows. Now that's a miracle, and they don't get much better than that, but that kind of stuff just isn't realistic to go after for the beginning Kabbalist. At least not for the first 40 years or so. This is not the case with web development. The perspective from most people is entertain me, but some people, and in this case some or many, that say content is king. This is said in the same tone that the rabbis declare action is the most important thing. And it's those people that decide ultimately what Google thinks is important. Ultimately, every penny that Google spends to improve their search technology is spent to serve those mindless fools that are just looking for a thrill. You can be the holiest guy on the block. Your rabbi could be a saint with the fastest server anywhere, and it wouldn't help. The Dark One himself could own the domain name god.com, and with decent theme-relevant content, that little devil could take over the first page of the search engine ranking results. Here we have a snapshot, but you can yourself Google the name God, and see what Google brings you, and you'll quickly realize that it's not all the truth of the Torah. It is interesting to note that over 500 million competing sites and searches take place every month with the term God in them. Is that a new phenomena, or has it been that way forever? There's a way to find out that we will cover later. What else is Google telling us here? This is it. Tippity top, the first page of Google's ranking results for the keyword God. Click on the sites listed and I guarantee you'll find something other than the truth of the Torah. And why not? Wikipedia allows us to edit content and include our own deranged theoretical understandings. They claim as truth whatever they want, the flavor of the day. Are some of the things on their site true? Sure, but it's mixed in with so much crap that it can no longer be pure. It's tainted with darkness and spiritually jails its legions of worshippers for ransom. Basically blood money. The Kabbalists cannot groove like that. Things must be pure. The laws are rigid and precise. The mystics receive no flow in that circumstance. At that juncture, the Torah says, no, full stop. And not even one letter has changed in the Torah since Moses received it on Mount Sinai. It is authentic. There's no doubt that it is God's truth. God wants to be praised and to have a dwelling place in his world here below. How many of his creations are making his name great? What kind of bridge do we have to cross? In the secular, mundane world of Google, there's no concern of violating Torah laws by listing unholy sites and ads in the SERPs, the search engine ranking pages. On the other hand, Orthodox Jewry has always spelled God with a hyphen and always with a capital letter, and always will, because of the commandment not to say or write his name without a holy purpose and intent, and out of respect, among other things. Simply put, do not take his name in vain. Notice the capital H in the word his. This, in fact, is the job of the Jewish people in regards to the rest of the world. God's name must be made great among the nations of the world, with the Gentile nations participating. The Jewish people must teach the world that God wants and how the world, including the World Wide Web, can accomplish what God wants under Jewish leadership. When it comes to our Creator, the power of God's name cannot be cheapened in any way, for sure never being used to power a search engine that returns results that include the websites of idol worshippers, con artists, and thieves. The world of truth has an order for ranking. Above the line is good and holy, below the line is the forbidden and impure, and there can be no impostor, for God knows and sees all. God, and for that matter Torah and Kaballah, cannot exist in a revealed way while the evil websites still come up in the ranking. Evil must first be turned away from, thereby eliminating and nullifying any impurity, which in turn allows a holy vessel the potential to receive holy light. The receiving of holy light can also be known as doing good. This is one of the underlying elements behind the commandment not to put a mezuzah on a bathroom doorpost, and why reading the Torah is forbidden while one sits on a commode and evacuates their colon. This, in fact, is the essence of don't do evil, whereby first leaving impurity and sin behind, an individual is then able to do a good deed. The rabbis specify that one is forbidden to put a mezuzah on a bathroom door, being that bathroom is an impure room, and such not a candidate for the name of God on its post. Kabbalah is an expression of the truth of the Torah. The Kabbalistic practices can only be successful after the Kabbalist has turned away from evil. Let's say a person was to meditate on one of God's names while seated on the toilet. God forbid. That said user would be exploiting the mystical forces introduced herein while not turning from evil. This is much worse than can be imagined, since that person was using the holy energy to idol worship in a way that kidnaps the life force, holding it hostage, so to speak, along with any flow that is received, acting at a time as a poison, eradicating its wielder. With this regard, take care, keep solemn respect, and do not disregard the subject matter at hand. Be advised the shortest distance to see humility is to look down towards your feet. Success with your learning may require following Kabbalah exercises and step-by-step approaches that will establish a rock-solid foundation. The same is true with web development and achieving top ranking in Google search results. It is this foundation of truth, the truth of the Torah, that gives the Kabbalist a broader understanding. There's much to learn and now about the spiritual forces and how they can empower personal growth and success. Kabbalah disciplines help students reduce their business requirements while increasing their personal commitment to the Torah through its many secret paths. The discipline comes with help and detailed training and is not for the feeble-hearted or light-minded. The mystical discipline practices from top to bottom how to prepare, plan, execute, and follow up action steps that create something from something in the mystical realm. The mystical realm is the spiritual world of action. What happens above is echoed below, allowing ordained enabler mastery to manipulate for the outcome of a situation and balance the world in the favor of Torah, which is the source of all good.